Hey, welcome back, damas y caballeros. I hope everything is going well with you guys. We are going to continue our exercise step through of recursion. Hopefully you will understand it a little better as we trace through this second example. Okay, so if you don't understand what the function does, you can go back to my first recursion video and you can see what the preliminary logic is and what we're trying to solve. Okay? So here, what we're going to do is we're going to do an example of writeVertical of 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So in actuality, when we do this call, what we're expecting in terms of output is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So we have a new line, new line, new line, new line, which means that all the outputs have to be in order, right? So we got to isolate the 1, we got to isolate the 2, isolate the 3, and then finally isolate the 4 and then print that out. Okay? Great. Now, let's trace through this. So when we first begin, okay, and I'm going to do a little table here. So I'm actually going to do something like this. We'll do that n over here, and then we'll just say that this is an iteration, right? So we'll say call number. Okay, on the first call, meaning that this is my first call, right? We're gonna relate this with our table on the bottom left. So on the first call, what's n? N is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So on our first call, n is 1, 2, 3, 4, and when n is 1, 2, 3, 4, we're feeding it in here, right? We are not going to fall into this base case. We're actually going to go and do another call, right? Nothing happens. We're just we're doing another call. When we do the call, we can call this call number 2. Call number 2. writeVertical is going to say what? N divided by 10, right? Well, what's n? Well, we only know that n is that, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 10 is going to give us 1, 2, 3. Right? So we do that. We're actually on call number 2, n is 1, 2, 3. Okay? Again, we're feeding n to our function call, because remember, it's recursive call. And we come here, n 1, 2, 3 is less than 10? No. Again, we're going to make another call to writeVertical, right? So we're here. Okay? So on call number 3, okay, what's the value of n? Well, n is this, right? So n is 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 divided by 10 is 12, right? So writeVertical is going to be 12. All right, so third call, again, writeVertical is 12, and we're going to feed that in again over here, right? We come in here, 12 is less than 10. It's not, so again, we got to make another call. Call number 4. right? Well, what's call number 4? Call number 4 is writeVertical. 12 divided by 10, right? What's 12 divided by 10? It's 1, right? So we do 1, 1. Okay? Well, again, we're making that call number 4, right? With n equal to 1. So we're coming here again. And now we're going to hit this base case, right? So 1 is less than 10. Yes, it is. So this actually prints out. Let me move this down so I can... it's fine. We can do this. Prints out 1. Right? Now, remember, we just made call number 4, and this actually executed to completion, right? Because once we do the print out here, we're not going to go into the else. We're just going to stop. We're going to continue execution and end, right? So we can say that call number 4 is done, right? We can just X this out. Call number 4, we'll cross it out like this. Now because we did call number 4, call number 3 is going to continue execution. And where did call number 3 continue execution? Well, remember, call number 3 left off here, right? And we already popped or came back. So call number 3 is actually going to do this step over here. So what's 12 modulus 10? What's 12 modulus 10? Well, 12 modulus 10 is going to give you 2. Right? So that prints this out. Right? So we come over here, that's the output. Right? And then this pops again, right? Because we print it out and then we end over here. Okay? The previous caller was call number 2, right? And call number 2, right, has to continue execution. Where did he leave off? He left off here, right? He left off here. So we continue and we do 1, 2, 3 modulus 10. So 1, 2, 3 modulus 10 is going to give you what? It's going to give you 3. So we'll do that, right? And that's actually going to print that out, right? And we print out 3, and we're done with that. Where did call number 1 leave off? Well, call number 1 again left off here again, right? So we got to continue to the next step, just as the previous ones. 1, 2, 3, 4 modulus 10 is going to give you 4. So this prints out the number 4, right? And because we're done with that, that gets popped off and we're done. And that is how we would trace through in terms of a recursive call. Now notice that the base case is last, right? But the printout, right, is first. Why? Because the halt of the function call does not let it continue. So we stop at the function call, we kind of pause, hold everything that's going on until my caller or my call comes back to me. Okay, it comes back to me. So notice how we come back here. This person calls here, then he calls here, and then calls here, and then we bubble up, and then bubble up, right? And again, the only base cases in terms of this over here is when it's a single digit, which is what we want to print out first. Okay, because no matter what, we always want to print out the first digit. Okay, the first digit. So we want to get to a point where we isolate the first digit, whether it's only 1 or whether it's 4 or whether it's 10. Okay, that's the way that we do these recursive calls. So again, I hope that you understand how these recursive calls work. And I'm not going to go into anything further with recursion because, again, this is not a data structures course. But I will tell you that you should start understanding how recursive functions work. That would build your foundation. And then the next step would be to write your own simple recursive function. Once you understand that, then you can head on to the next thing, which is dynamic programming. Because with recursion, it is some problems lend themselves to recursion, but it's not very efficient because you keep calling the same function over and over again, and the stack could get full, and that could cause an overflow. Actually, a stack overflow. Okay, you ever heard of the website Stack Overflow? That's where they get that from. Okay. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, I'm actually going to post a link on this video to point you to the dynamic programming video that I found, which was very, very helpful for me. And the guy there teaches pretty good. I like the way he teaches, and he makes the examples very easy to understand. But do not go there until you understand how the recursive functions work. So hopefully you take a look at my videos first, and then you can take a look at his. Hope to see you on the next video.